ocean blue. Every mile lost, my soul renewed, taken by the sunrise and the golden view.
What's up? Coming at you from down under. How's it going? I have officially been in Australia for 120 days as of today. So that's 4 months pretty much. Seeing how it is the 4-month anniversary of leaving the US and being in Australia, I figured I would do a little question and answer video to give my 2 cents on Australian life and how it's been, and some things that people may not know or have some misconceptions about. Yeah. So I guess to get straight into it, I think the first thing that was apparent from when I first got here was the accent. Moving here, I'm now the odd one out. I have an American accent, and it's kind of funny because sometimes people will be asking me if I have an accent or where I'm from, because they can tell that I'm not quite Australian. But other times people will be like, oh really? Like I couldn't tell too much because I think I've picked up on a bit of the lingo and like how they speak. So, but it is interesting thinking of myself as the person with the accent now instead of the other way around. It is pretty fun. But I don't think I'll try an Australian accent because I'm not good at it. I mean, everyone knows what the stereotypical Aussie sounds like, and I don't want to embarrass myself by putting myself in that predicament, so I'll just let that one slide. The next thing, I guess, I've had a job here now for around about a month and a half, and I work at one of the malls that's close to the university here called Stocklands. And I think one of the biggest things that was different there than the other malls in the States is a lot of the malls is where the grocery stores are located. Like you don't just have like a city market or a Safeway or King Soopers. Like you go to Stockland, it has like all your shops and stores and everything that you would expect. But then usually they'll have at least one, if not a few, like actual grocery stores within them. Makes a lot more sense, honestly. Like you'd rather just go to one place and have everything right there for you all at once rather than driving from multiple places around. But I don't know. I think it's pretty cool. It's convenient for me because I can just go to work, and after work I can go get my groceries. And then once I get my groceries, I can just peace. I don't have to go to many other places. Which is nice as well because I don't have a car here. So if I'm either on my scooter or taking public transportation, it makes it a whole lot easier. I guess speaking of cars and driving, that leads me into my next question, like the difference, and have I noticed it or have I driven? I've only drove a car once so far since I've been here. It was my friend's car because he picked me up to go to jiu-jitsu one morning, and he's like, you're gonna drive it till the main street just because I want you to see what it's like. And it wasn't too much different. Like I could find myself getting used to it. The funniest thing that happened though, and I guess this is a common mistake for people that come from other parts of the world that don't drive on the left side of the road, is I went to go turn on the blinker to indicate that I was pulling out, but I went to turn on the blinker to signal that I was turning to the left, but the windshield wiper is on the left and the blinker is on the right, so that was pretty funny. Yeah. But besides that, I drove for like a minute, and yeah, it was fun. I'm quite used to it now, seeing like everything on the left side of the road, or getting into like the left side of the car instead of the right, especially since I'm a passenger most of the time. So it'll be fun when I go back to the US and see if I can still get it right in my brain, but yeah, it's not too bad. What else? A big question, and especially one that I was concerned about moving here, is like the bugs in the wildlife here in Australia. And this was kind of like one of the biggest shocks to me, is the bugs are really a big deal. Like you see those videos and pictures of big huntsman spiders and all those other like big crabs and crazy things that look like they could just eat you and hang out in your house and be like, nah. But that's not an issue really. Like I haven't seen one outrageously large spider or anything. Like there's definitely a lot of insects just given that it is a tropical climate, but I mean when you're inside you might get the occasional ant or a wasp, but yeah, those aren't really a big thing. The fuckers that you do have to worry about is the magpies. These birds are assholes, especially right now from like September through I don't know when, but it's still going on. But they have their nesting season, and basically all that means is they hang out in trees, and anytime you're on like a bike or a scooter or anything that you have like your hands occupied with, they'll come down and swoop you and try to like mess up your head or something. Like I don't know, I'm usually wearing a helmet or a hat so they don't get me, but I've seen pictures of people, they like claw you because they're like trying to protect their nest or something and they think you're a threat. It's hilarious because you'll sometimes see people riding around with zip ties in their helmets, and I mean it looks hilarious, but I've had a few close calls where I thought one was gonna get me and I was like, I should probably do this because it just sucks and it's scary. And there's two spots that I always have to ride past, either when I'm going to or from my apartment to the gym or coming back from work, and it's only getting worse. Like they're so mean. So that's probably the biggest thing you have to worry about, especially in Queensland, is the magpies. Other than that, I mean, you'll see wallabies and other wildlife, but the insects and things like that, you don't have to worry about it. And if you don't know, I am an international student at James Cook University. This is my last semester of my bachelor's degree in sports science as well as psychology. And campus here is pretty cool. It's interesting because it's a mix of like modern buildings and older style stuff. Like you can tell the campus has been around for a bit and they're trying to update it as they go. So like some of the newer buildings are like the student center, like they have a big auditorium, or they have like the science place here, which is like the main building because they are a very marine bio focused school, so that's where like all the marine bio stuff is. It is pretty sweet. They have like a big fish tank in it. That's really cool to look at. It's a cool place to go hang out. But then other buildings are like where my strength and conditioning class is. It literally looks like an industrial like work line. I didn't think I was in the right place when I was going to class in the first week, but yeah, I mean, it's a nice enough campus. It's easy to get around. They have the scooters, and even if you don't take a scooter around, it only takes like 5 or 10 minutes to kind of walk anywhere that you would need to go. But yeah, it's nice. I like it. But yeah, this is a big one, and I think it's pretty important that I come out with this one. So the next question is, do I have any friends? Yes, I do have friends. I made a good amount of friends here on campus as well as outside. I feel like I have a strong amount of like actual Australian friends. It does help having a job and being a part of like a gym and training facility that is catered towards mainly like Australian people. So I find that most of my friends are from Australia or have lived here for a really long time. Like my friend Christian has been living here for 4 or 5 years now, even though he's originally from the States as well. I have my other uni friend, Olivier. He's obviously not Australian, he's French, but he still counts, he's been here longer than me. Yeah, so I have a good amount of friends. I wouldn't say it's like crazy. I'm not the most outgoing person or like biggest social butterfly, so I kind of like keep it to myself, but it's good having a small circle. I think it's all about quality over quantity, and I definitely appreciate all the people that I have in my life here. It's been a lot of fun getting to know them, and I'm kind of sad that I have to leave them in a few months, but that's a problem for a later date, and we'll figure that out when we get there. But the next thing, someone was curious about the drinking age in Australia. It is 18 here, like a lot of other places in the world besides the US. It's kind of the only place where it's 21, at least that I've been. Everywhere else it's 18, which I mean, makes sense. You can do a lot of things when you're 18. Why can't you just have a drink as well? I don't know. I've done plenty of arguments on both sides, but it seems like it works better this way. People, like, there is a large drinking culture here in Australia, but it seems like people take better care of one another here. Like, they have more of a respect and responsibility for that kind of stuff, whereas when you have it be legal till you're older, it becomes kind of like a taboo thing or something. You feel like you have to hide, or it's a bigger deal than what it is. So yeah, 18, liquor store is in Stocklands as well. It's right next to the grocery store. It's pretty much what you'd expect it to be like. There's no other difference except you see teenagers in there sometimes. So yeah. The biggest thing that I've had previous experience with it, but like the metric and the imperial system, I have gotten pretty good about using like meters, centimeters, like grams and kilograms and stuff like that. It's not too hard to get the hang of. The biggest thing has been like liters for me, like fluid ounces or fluid quantities. That one's been the most difficult, but like you can see, this is like 1.25 liters, but I guess in the States we do have liters, but it's for like liters of soda. Otherwise we just use ounces and stuff like that, but yeah, I don't know, it's dumb. I think the US should just use the same system that everyone else is using, because why not? It just makes it more easy in the long run, but that's okay. For the last question, am I missing home? In short, not really. Like, I did feel homesick for a little bit. It definitely made it seem like it was gonna be worse than what it was. And I think that's because a lot of people that came over here were maybe someone trying to do like a whole exchange program, like a whole 3 or 4 year degree over here, or they maybe hadn't had as much experience as I had previously living on your own, because I've been living outside my parents' house for more than 4 years coming here. And granted, I did have roommates the entire time and people around me, and this is like the first time I've really been on my own, like in my own space. But I mean, it hasn't been too bad. I miss people more than I miss the place. Like, that's what I've been telling people when they ask if I do miss home. And that's true, because like, I don't know, home is wherever I am, but the people with me are definitely a big part of my home. So I'm excited when I go back to the States that I get to see those people and spend time with them, but I also do have like a piece of home here in Australia now as well, because of all the friends that I've made and the relationships that I've built. So it's gonna be sad leaving here, but I am excited. Who knows, maybe I'll come back in the future. I don't know what the future has in store. So yeah, that is kind of the basic questions that I've been asked, and I feel like that I have the answers to at the moment. I don't really know what else to talk about. If you have any other questions or things that I didn't answer, you can go ahead and drop them in the comments, and I can either make a part 2 or just kind of shout an answer at you right there. But yeah, thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and we'll catch you in the next one. Later.